Today I'm going to talk about my workflow for creating photo etched parts using Fusion 360 and Inkscape as my vector art program because it's free. Um, so here's a part I've been working on. It consists of two separate sheet metal parts placed together. The first one is this piece that wraps around the outside over the top here, and the other piece is this one that wraps around that way. So first what you'll want to do is you'll create a flat pattern. I won't go into how to do that. If you need to know that, there's easy tutorials online that you can find. So I'll just activate my flat pattern. You can see the part here has a relatively simple. It has some half-etched areas in this side as well as a couple half-etched areas in this side as well. So we'll start with the more difficult side on the back side, and what I'll do is I'll create a sketch on this plane here, and I'll just go ahead and project this entire face, this entire upper layer face into my sketch. I'll accept that. Now, I don't actually want these little bridge areas in my final part. I only have these here so that Fusion 360 will allow me to bend my part up again for my assembly. Kind of like a Fusion 360 problem. So I actually want to remove these little cross bridge areas in my final art. So what I'll do is I'll just create a rectangle, and since this dot is higher than this one, I can just create a rectangle from here down to here. I'll constrain this dot to this line and this dot to this dot. So that creates an individual rectangle, which is important because we're going to need to have these half etch areas be their own individual paths inside Inkscape, which will make sense in a minute when we get to Inkscape. But so I'll make another rectangle over here. Do the same thing. Constrain this dot to this line and this dot to this dot. And that completes that side. So I've got everything. I'll finish that sketch. Actually, before we move on, what I like to do is I like to make a rectangle in the corner here, and actually I'll do it on the other side. It doesn't matter what your dimensions are. I like to do 10 by 10, and then sort of drag it up away out of the way of your part, and then just constrain it to your part by a consistent dimension. So I'll do 20 to the side and 20 up away from the part. So it's out of the way, and we're going to use this for positioning is all it's going to be used for. So that's the first side done for our part. So I will hide that side, and we'll go to the second side, and we'll do the same thing. This side's going to be a little easier. I'll just project the entire face into my sketch, and then these half etch areas here, since there's no problems with them, I will just project them as their own individual objects as well, so that they're their own projection, and as such they'll also be their own path inside Inkscape. So I will project the square from the other sketch as well into this sketch so that we have the same reference square in both sketches. And that's it. That's how you draw your artwork using a part that you've made in Fusion 360. So to get it in Inkscape, you just come over here, right click it, save as DXF, and I'll call this cylinder wrap inside. No, outside. And then we'll go over to Inkscape. You can see I've been working in here, but the way you want to look at this is the actual page, the yellow page itself. You can view that as the actual piece of metal you'll be etching into. And all the black areas that you see are going to be areas that are going to be etched, where the etching solution is going to eat metal away and cut all these parts out. So to get the part in, I simply just come over here to where I just downloaded it or saved it from Fusion 360 and just drag it straight in. You might have to tweak with these settings depending on how it ends up for you and whatever programs you're using, but manual scale works fine for mine. The other ones, read from file, does not work for me. I'm not sure why, but I don't really care either. Click OK, and then include SVG as editable object in current file, which is exactly what we want to do. So click OK, and there it is. It's imported into Inkscape, and all we got to do is position it. So I've been aligning my objects. I want to put this one at negative 0.375x, and then I'll just move it up somewhere that looks good. That's pretty good there. And we'll choose a nice even number for my y, so 4.8. 4.85 will do. That's good. So because once you start editing these to make them have like the perimeter around it stuff, the actual width of the object changes. We want to put both sketches in at the same time. So we'll go back to Fusion and we'll export the other sketch as cylinder wrap inside. This is the other half of the same etched part. So we'll go back to Inkscape and we will drag this in. You can see it's upside down, so I will go to Object, Rotate, Object, Rotate, and that's it. I think I imported the wrong sketch here because I've been practicing off camera, so let me re-import the outside one. Okay. Yeah, I did. So let me just rotate this to the way it needs to be. Object, rotate, object, rotate. There we go. So we have the two mirrored halves on the page. I'll have to reposition this. My bad, 0.375 over there. And we'll do, what was it? 4.85. 4.85. Because I want to copy the width of it now with Control C before I've modified either one. So I'll position this one at the same spot, and for X you'll do the width of the page, which in my case the width of this page is 4 inches, so 4 minus negative 0.375, which is the X value that I put it on this side for this part. And then I'll do minus the width of the part. And that locates it at a mirrored position on this page. And then our Y is just going to be the same as it was over here, which was this part, 4.85. 4.85. There it is. So we're in a mirrored position on both sides so that when you sandwich these two sheets together, they're going to be exactly overlaying. So this part, I'll just rename it here as cylinder wrap inside, and this one to cylinder wrap outside. So we will start with the outside, and this object here, you can see it highlights the square, so we'll just rename that as locator. And you can see all these. This is where I was talking about making individual projections for the half etch areas. It allows us to like select it as an individual object here, as a little rectangle path here. So I'll just go ahead and select all of the half etch areas, and I'll shift click down here to remove the stroke of the color of those, and then I'll control click into the black to make it fill it with black. So, and we'll do the same thing for these holes. So these are just holes that are going to be etched from this side. Shift click, control click, and that makes a fill pattern for those with so that they're the correct size. This one here is the perimeter around the part, so it's just the outside of the part. I'll drag it down to the bottom so that all the other pieces are a layer above it and on top of the perimeter. And now we're going to have to create this etched area around the perimeter of the part so that the etchant solution can cut it out of the metal sheet. To do that, I just highlight the perimeter path. I go to path, linked offset, and that creates another path that clones this one. And then I'll do with the clone highlighted, I go to path, outset, and that just pretty obvious. It just outsets that cloned path, and it gives us space to create this black area. So with the new path highlighted, I will shift click to remove the stroke, control click to give it a fill, and then I'll click the original path, shift click to remove the stroke, control click to give it a color. And that completes that part, and it's ready to be cut out. So all we got to do is go over and do the same thing to the other side part. Since I'm done with the other one, I'll lock it down so we can't move it by accident. Same thing over here. We'll highlight the square part, rename it locator. This is that individual rectangle I drew for the half etch area to get rid of these bridge sections. So I'll highlight the other one as well. And I'll shift click, control click to give those a fill. And here's the perimeter of the part. So I'll drag that down to the bottom so everything else is on top of it. And the other objects are my holes. I will shift click, control click to give those a fill. And then we'll do the same thing with the offset perimeter. So highlight that, path, linked offset, path, outset. Got a nice perimeter now. Shift click that, control click that, highlight the original body, shift click that, control click that with your page color. There you go. That part is now done as well, that half of it. And we've got our half etch lines on this side so that it'll only etch halfway through the part. In this situation. So that completes that part there. Trying to think if there's anything else. You can see how it's mirrored across. So if you view these two pages like a book, you close the book and then they the mirrored pieces sandwich on top of each other, and then you insert your metal between those two sheets, and then you can apply your photoresist that way, and then from there you can etch. And I'll link a video with a basic tutorial about how to etch parts and stuff, but I think that gives you a general idea. Once you get to this point, if you need to move parts again, just a matter of moving one and then moving the other to the opposing XY coordinates on the other page. It's a little crude, but it's the best thing I could find for a free solution, and it's good enough for me. So from here, if you need to print it or whatever, you can just open the export dialog here, Control-Shift-E if it's not visible for you. And then you can pick your individual pages here that you want to export. So in this case, I will choose to export it as a regular SVG document, just as an example. And I'll call it page 2. We'll export it. I'll go to my etches folder here, and you can see it here. So I will open that with Firefox or some browser. See if it opens. But you can see it's pretty self-explanatory. Before you finish, you'll probably want to go through all your parts and set the actual color of each part to be transparency whenever you print onto your clear photoresist sheets or whatever that is. I forget what it's called, but you get it. But yeah, that's how you print it out. That's how you save it anyways. And then once you do that, you just print it. You just print it with your printer onto your paper, and that's pretty much it. But I think this gives you a good general idea of how to set up your artwork for a workflow anyways. Really was difficult for me to figure out the best way to do this. There's probably better ways, but I didn't really see any videos out there explaining how to do this at all. People don't seem to do this very much, photo etching. So hopefully this helps somebody. Goodbye. I forgot to mention, obviously you're going to want to, before you print these objects out, you're going to want to go through and highlight all of your locator squares and just turn those to be invisible by hitting the eyeball icon. You can turn all of those off prior to doing this, but prior to finishing up and printing your sheet. Another thing I want to mention is all of these have perimeters around them, but if you were to etch it right now, they would all just fall out of the sheet and float away into the etchant solution once they're all cut out. So to prevent that, typically what you'd want to do is add little attachment tabs on one half on one of the sheets only. And what I mean by that is basically you just make a rectangle and then you just draw it like this. You can give it a certain width if you want here, like 0.015 inches or something, or whatever size you want it to be. So you just do that around the perimeter of the part. You do that for all of these as well. You get the point. So with it, whenever you sandwich it together, it's gonna leave half etch little tabs in your sheet, so that when it's done etching, they won't just break out of the sheet and float away. And you'll come in with a craft knife or some other razor blade or something, and you will slice these tabs to remove your part. But I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. Thanks.